Here we are again talking about electrified vehicles, fully battery electric vehicles, and the one we're going to talk about this time is nimble. It's cute, it's got a turning circle smaller even than that of a London taxi. It's got an on-paper battery range of about 85 miles. In the real world, as we know, less than that, but we'll talk more about range and charging shortly on this little city car. Not talking about this one. It's that one. I'm trying really hard to give you a sense of the scale of this vehicle. So it is bigger than a welly boot. It is smaller than an Audi e-tron. It's little. The first time I ever saw a smart car, it was in Paris, parked nose in to the curb and not blocking the road at all. That's the nature of these fantastically convenient little city cars. But is it possible to live with it from a day-to-day point of view? Can you fit enough stuff in the back? Well, that's my enormous pair of wellies and my medium-sized Labradoodle called Carlos. So for shopping, for popping in and out of town or in and out of a city, for most situations it's going to be just great. And of course, zero congestion charge if we're talking about London. Are you going to take it on a trip across Europe? Doubtful. The fastest it will charge from 0 to 80% is 3 hours, and that will only be possible from the public charging network. Generally speaking, from a wall box at home, it's going to take between 5 and 8 hours to get you back to a full battery. So with a range of maximum just over 80 miles traveling across Europe, you'd have to be very, very patient. It might be worth mentioning that my cameraman has to be very, very close to me. That's as zoomed out as this can get because there's really not a lot of space in here. Something else I'm noticing as well, we're only doing 35 miles an hour. That's a lot of road noise. But please don't for a moment think that I am here to make negative comments about this car. I absolutely love this little thing. I'm now going to accelerate from a standing start to 60 miles an hour. Here we go. It doesn't feel like a Jaguar I-Pace, but I tell you what, that is fun. This little car, I mean, words like zippy are absolutely appropriate. And around, I'm doing sort of fairly long sweeping bends around these country lanes. It feels really confident on the road. And it's got that extra weight as you have in an electric car, really making it feel quite planted on the road. And again, it's just fun. So this is the Smart ForTwo EQ, if I've got that the right way around. EQ being the Mercedes-Benz designation for electric vehicles. And so they use that here on the Smart as well. ForTwo because it's a two-seater, and this is the exclusive model. From standard, some great features like Android Auto. For other types of phones you can use MirrorLink, but it's got a really well set up inbuilt infotainment system anyway, with standard navigation from TomTom, which is a good navigation system. It's standard with a reversing camera, with cruise control and a speed limiter. And as you'd expect with an electric vehicle, you can flip the dash around a little bit to look at things like energy flow meter. I have a large digital speedo, as well as this very cool 50s style speedometer that you see there, the analog speedo. We can see the energy usage constantly up here on this pod that's mounted up on the dash. Keeping an eye on your energy usage is nice and simple. It's one of those things that you get used to, and so sometimes you'll want to have the energy flow meter visible. By the time you've had the car for a while, you just drive the car. So we got in this vehicle with a range of 35 miles, and we've done about 8 miles, and it's now showing 19 miles remaining. It's not particularly cold. It's 8 degrees at the moment, but an electric vehicle's battery is happiest between 20 and 30 degrees. So it is being somewhat sapped by the fact that it's a little bit chilly outside, but also we've got a dog and a cameraman and me, and so that weight is clearly having an impact as well. For a lot of people, most of the time they'll be in this vehicle on their own, and they'll be very well looked after. I'm 6'2" and I'm comfortable. I've got plenty of space. There's not a lot of space for a cameraman, but I've got plenty of space as the driver. I've got a standard armrest, which is one of those really nice little touches. Really nice materials inside here. Some of the plastics, I guess, are a little bit scratchy, but you have to really look around for them. you've got quite good quality grip rubber surfaces, and then up onto the dash, this cloth. Let's say we are talking about this as a city car. Now, I'm using it out in the countryside, perhaps not where it's the most at home. It seems to be racing through the available range quite quickly, but if I was looking at it as a town or city car, then I would say the visibility is fantastic. It doesn't matter where I look, the glass is basically right next to me wherever I am anyway, and of course I've got that reversing camera as standard, so very usable, very easy to get in and out of parking spaces and all of that city car kind of stuff. In terms of buying the car, with the government's £3,500 plug-in car grant, which is still valid at the time of recording, that takes the price of the Smart EQ ForTwo down below £17,000. I've seen some fantastic deals as well, taking the asking price, including the grant, down below £14,000. But you can get a bargain on this fantastic little city car. Here in the UK, your smart dealer will also help you with the cost of the home wall box. But when you go to arrange that, please do make sure that you're future-proofing your wall box. Don't just get a wall box that will give you the minimum power output. You want at least a 7 kilowatt output, preferably a little more, just to make sure you're future-proofing that box that you're bolting to your house. If you need a bit more space, there's always the Smart 4 with 2 extra seats and 2 extra doors. Still not massive on load space, but you can fold the seats down for those rare occasions where you need that extra space in the back. It will cost you in the region of £1,000 more. Look, it's got electric windows and everything. Electric door mirrors, a fantastically kitted out little car. If you can get one for anywhere in the region of your sort of high teens, you're getting a lot of car for your money. It's an absolute joy. I have to say though, Carlos isn't very happy in that little boot, so I better race off and get him somewhere more comfortable to sit. But this thing is just delightful.